Welcome to Twisted Monday, where we're looking at good old-fashioned Twisted Metal head-on. But we've never seen this screen before. It's an incognito incorporated eye catch. Quite the literal eye catch. And it is for the PSP version of Head-On. I figure since I'm stuck with emulators anyway, might as well make the best of it. Show off things that I've never fully showed off before. Never seen this cutscene in PSP form. It's significantly lower resolution than the PS2 version. But the PS2 version has weird, graphical errors, particularly with the transitions between scenes. You probably wouldn't notice it if you hadn't spent many hours editing this exact video over and over again. If nothing else, it's good to have a reminder of what this cutscene is like. Especially if you remember the more recent playthrough I've done of Twisted Metal 3. Because this cutscene is basically a parody of Twisted Metal 3's intro. That's right, original head-on, PSP style. Let's see how this works. Goes right from the cutscene into the title screen, which is very, very similar. I always love this title screen way better than that of the Extra Twisted Edition. I talked a lot about this PSP version. It has many, many, many differences from the Extra Twisted Edition. We're finally going to take a look at a full playthrough. Using one of my least favorite vehicles, Spectre. Spectre had the most significant redesign between the PSP and the PS2 releases. So, since we're taking a look at the PSP version, we're going to see the most significantly changed vehicle. Driven by Chucky Floop. Every time I play Spectre, I feel like I have to justify it, make an excuse for why I'm doing it, but there are Spectre fans out there who are always happy to see this thing go for a test drive. This one's for you.
Welcome back to Twisted Metal. I am Calypso. The entire planet is your back.
The staticky filter over this thing is to its benefit, given the low resolution of the PSP version.
Let the games begin!
I could absolutely skip this without losing anything, but here we go, the band level in all their glory. Now, just in case I don't necessarily want to get this stream pulled from Twitch for having licensed music in it, let us quickly use our speed as Spectre here. Head over to the stage, grab this bomb, and shut down Level's concert. Just in case. Can't be too safe here. There. Sorry, Level, you gotta go. Your song has a 1 in a trillion chance of getting content ID'd. Every time the music switches, there will be a slight hang in the gameplay. Also be a few frames every time the track changes. Such was also the case in the PS2 version. Which is weird, you never really saw that outside of PS1 games. Because PS1 games had to load a different CD track using surprisingly primitive technology. They usually tried to hide it in loading screens. We're going to see significantly smaller damage numbers. This game actually tells you precisely how much damage you do with every attack. And in this instance, it will be fairly low compared to what we're used to when we see Head-On. But the big difference between this version and the PS2 version is Spectre has a spoiler. Look at that, right on the back of the vehicle. Keeping us rooted to the ground no matter how quickly we drive. It has no actual gameplay effect. But they did do a good job with the spoiler. Like, it's going to break off and bounce around. It's surprisingly detailed, and I don't know why they cut it from the PS2 version. Makes the vehicle look a little better. Slightly more distinctive. Now, we are hearing the music and the sound of every special that gets fired. Like, there we go. Special attacks we can hear, music we can hear, nothing else makes any sounds in this game. Because of an emulation error, which is widely documented and has been since like 2008 or so when people first started emulating this game, and they've never been able to fix it. Some people claim to have played through the game under different settings and had the sound fixed. There is no documentation of any of those claims. Every single person who's played this game on emulator has experienced a distinct lack of sound effects, as far as I can tell. So we are going to have to get used to that. It's a bit jarring, but hopefully my commentary over the whole thing will distract from this very obvious flaw. There is another big visual change in every single vehicle in the PSP version, which is anytime you select a special, it has a specific animation for your vehicle of the special popping out of your car, being primed to fire. And that animation is different on every single vehicle for each of their specials. There are still animations in the PS2 version when you select a special, but the animations are all different. They changed them when they ported the game. Unnecessary amount of effort went into making new animations. They also added animations for every weapon you select. So on the PS2 version, we would see the homing missile popping out of this car right now. That is not the case. It only shows you your special when it's active. Otherwise, every attack fires from the same spot on every vehicle. Very much unlike Twisted Metal Black, where you had to memorize where your weapon would pop out of on each car, or you could accurately fire it. It was a really cool detail in Twisted Metal Black, but it made switching vehicles much more difficult. We don't have to worry about that here. We do have to worry about where the power missile fires from, which is on the right side of our vehicle. There's no visual indicator of that fact. You just gotta know it. I want to get the upgrade points, because that's a thing in this game. I'm down a life, but that won't matter because our lives will refill properly in this version of the game. I don't have to save and quit the title, reload the whole level. It will work properly. Which is another thing that basically only I know or care about, but it makes a huge difference when you actually play through a full game with Twisted Metal head-on. It's going to significantly streamline this playthrough. Virtually no loading screens, thanks to the emulation. Basically skips the whole thing, because they're fake. At least they would be, since we're not playing on a legitimate console. My PC has a little bit more power than the average PSP. There's the Angelin poster. Still being used as a billboard here, to indicate that this is Los Angeles. Eventually that did get content ID'd, so that they had to cut it out of the PS2 version. I assume that's the case. No one has ever actually directly commented on why the Angelin billboard was removed. But it makes sense. It's surprising they got away with it for so long. Over here in the movie lot, we've got this water tower. It just says B on the bottom. Let's knock it over. There it is. Just the B water tower. Couldn't afford the Warner Brothers licensing, so it's just the Brothers. Yakko and Wacko. I don't remember it having such a specific animation in the PS2 version, but I could be mistaken. That could just be my bad memory. I think the way it had the legs fall off and then flop to the side and then sink into the ground might be a PSP thing. Or I have it confused with the water tower that's in Twisted Metal Black, which falls over depending on where you knock the legs off. Big Studios, that's definitely a legitimate organization. Not at all a front. The Hollywood sign is not in this game, but I could go blow up the LA Wood sign. Perhaps I will, once I get a handle on the enemies here. Haven't killed anybody just yet. Also, I haven't been able to get the Wilhelm scream to play from running over the construction workers. But I assume that is in the PSP version and we're just experiencing audio glitches. Because that is definitely the case. One enemy down. I have so many weapons. Should be able to kill one or two more here. Could use a health refill. There's the environmental attack. You gotta be careful going for that health refill. You will get zapped. No, it's still the Hollywood sign. You are correct. I'm just being pedantic. Pointing out the ways in which this game is absurd for no particular reason. Like, I don't think the Hollywood sign is a copyrighted trademark that you can't put into a video game without permission. The way that the Angelin billboard absolutely is. There goes Grasshopper, doing Grasshopper things. Damn you, Sweet Tooth. Get this upgrade point. Not going to be very useful, but now our ram will do like 8 damage instead of 4. Glorious. Unless I lose that upgrade. There we go. Let the music hang while the track changes. Now we can and should go for the Hollywood sign. Because there's a health refill up there. It's in here. Number 23. Probably a reference to the Jim Carrey movie. Now there is still a D on the Hollywood sign, so we could try and steal it before we blow it up. There's your BoJack Horseman joke. There we go. Remote bombs. Next to... Let's see if I remember how to do this. I'm pretty sure you gotta plant a bomb next to the crane. Then set that sucker off. Did I get it right? Yep. raining letters on us. Admittedly, not the best shot of it that I could have possibly gotten, but you get the idea. Probably finish off everyone with my special here, since it's practically unavoidable. And 13 points of damage is fantastic in the game. Like, let's try and use our napalms. In the PS2 version, napalms do 20 damage. Guaranteed every time. Because apparently that is the maximum amount of damage they can do if they hit. And they just remove the fact that you have to nail them dead on to get that much damage. I have never seen a full 20-point napalm hit in the PSP version of the game. Normally I see like 4. There, 9. 9 is pretty good, comparatively speaking. But yeah, 5 and 6. Get a lot of single-digit napalm shots in the PSP version. Which means our special, dealing 13 damage, is a really big deal. Considering how easy it is to land, like, that's a really good special. Now everyone's good and dead. LA is out of here, and we're heading to Paris, because Paris was also very significantly changed for the PS2 release. Mostly because of this, right there. That is an environmental weapon pickup. None of those exist on the PS2 version of this level. And they shouldn't exist because the environmental tag is not active yet, so environmental weapon unavailable. For some reason, they put an environmental pickup on the ground floor. Although I did bring extra environmental pickups from previous levels to this level, so I still could have activated that error on the PS2 version. I'm just realizing now. I've just never bothered to do that. That is kind of interesting. We should... This tower down, though. Ah, there's the tip of it. To generate electricity for us. So the PSP only has 2 shoulder buttons, and that makes for a significant change in the control scheme of this game. Because normally, you would switch weapons with the bumpers, and then actually use them with the triggers. But the PSP doesn't have triggers. So as a result, the bumpers use the weapons, and you have to switch weapons with the triangle button. And only the triangle button, meaning you can only switch weapons in one direction. Now you can hold the triangle button, and then, if you press up and down, it'll switch your weapons. This is very awkward, because your weapons are clearly listed in a, like, left to right progression. So it feels like you're just kind of randomly switching through your weapons when you do that. Or at least it does for me. I can't wrap my head around it. You can't, like, shift the direction that the weapons are actually moving at 90 degrees. So I don't do that. I just cycle through them by repeatedly hammering the triangle button. I'm abusing the hell out of the environmental attack right now. Fired it like 10 times. Because I could never fire it before. Now the enemies can. They always have and they always will. Yeah, being able to switch in only one direction with your weapons is such a pain. You sort of get used to it, but you don't really understand how convenient it is to be able to switch them in both directions. This is the only version you played. I can't imagine any person exists who only played head-on the PSP, and none of the other games in the series. This is a very deep cut of a game, and the PSP version is the less popular version. Anytime any commenters talk about the game, they're always talking about the extra Twisted Edition. I went out of my way to show off as much of the PSP version as I could, but I didn't show off much of the gameplay. I just sort of described the ways in which it is different. That doesn't really do it justice, because it is very significantly different. Like, our attacks are pathetic. Enemies have so much HP in this version of the game. All those impressive explosions still took forever to kill Sweet Tooth. This is going to be a fairly lengthy playthrough compared to the PS2 versions, because a PS2 playthrough done well can only go by in like an hour, maybe even less, probably significantly less. I do need to compensate for my own lack of armor. Use my speed advantage. Should definitely be a health refill in between those broken chunks of the Eiffel Tower. Can't play quite as aggressively as I have been. You have missed practically nothing tuning in at this moment. Just the tutorial level and LA. Which, this game's version of LA is one of the weakest levels in the whole game. Here's a good victim for our power missiles. If only she hadn't gone invincible. I can finish her with our special. Should have a lot of those built up. Got a shield anytime I go near the environmental area. Enemies love to spam that attack. Roadkill is hot on my trail. Can't have that. Twister. Can I single her out? There we go. Killed her. Use my suspiciously powerful special to kill everyone else. Almost. In the meantime, let's stare at Spectre's, spoiler. Look at the way it bounces. Now the one side of it is broken off. They put physics on this thing, and then just cut it out of the PS2 version. I don't get it. Use rear fire to take care of that tailgater. Yep, we are on the PSP. An emulation thereof. Which is why the sound effects are so busted. But otherwise, this is pretty cool to check out, I think. There is a micro console called the PSTV, which is a PSP with the portable functionality removed. And as a result, it is basically a home console that plays PSP games, which is the ideal way to play Twisted Metal head-on. However, the PSTV was very, very unsuccessful in America and discontinued very quickly, so very few PSTVs exist in this region. And the few that do are pretty expensive. Not ridiculously expensive, but like $100, which is more than they're worth, quite frankly. Whereas in like Europe and Japan, they cost like 25 bucks. At that price point, I would definitely invest in a PSTV, but stuck in America, worst place for PSTVs, and numerous other things. First and foremost, those PSTVs. Somehow there's an ATV underground. I think. That or the arrow was just busted. Hopefully there's no ATVs underground, because I can't get to him if he's down there. But I don't see him. I'm only seeing 3 ATVs. And then one more arrow pointing off into the distance. Maybe Cousin Eddie is part of our 4 enemy count. That ATV was about to throw dynamite at me, which is the upgraded special, which they shouldn't have access to, but apparently they do. I didn't realize that. Like the grape shot thing that they keep doing. That I see all the time. That they should be able to do freely. Get some upgrades for free. Probably gonna lose them during the boss fight, because Cousin Eddie is actually fairly dangerous. Not difficult, but dangerous. Yeah, this is our napalm attack. At least it doesn't injure us when we fire it. I think that was the case in the PS2 version, and it was definitely the case on Twisted Metal Lost, the bonus game that exists in the PS2 version. And here comes Cousin Eddie. We're gonna actually get to hear him. Here we go.
Come on, boys, let's give.
This is where I ripped his voice clip from and spliced it into the PS2 release. So you would never know that he's secretly dead silent. Now I do think this version might be glitched in that I've never been able to hit the top hillbilly with a napalm strike, which is how you are meant to hit the top hillbilly. Also notice when I got my armor upgrade, it was spelled A-R-M-O-R, the American way. Whereas the PS2 release spells everything the European way. It is a port of the European version for some reason. I don't know why. Never been able to understand that, but everything is spelled European style. Special's not going to be very useful here. Should save it. Yep, head-on PSP version. Never showed off full playthrough before. And I actually showed off very, very little Spectre playthrough at all in the LP proper. Kind of a mistake. I used Spectre to play through the minigames rather than an actual level. So this is the most we're seeing of head-on Spectre to date. There, got him frozen. Yeah, that was definitely a direct hit on the top hillbilly with the napalm, and it didn't count. Because like I said, it is probably glitched. I have turned Cousin Eddie into a stoplight. It's got red, green, and yellow lights coming out of them. So what I need to do is jump up, fire down from above Cousin Eddie here. I only need to hit like once. but hitting him at all is kind of a pain. There. That didn't get him, though. That got him. It only takes 2 homing missiles to kill the Top Hillbilly. It has much, much higher HP in the PS2 version. But you can hit it properly in the PS2 version. Like, I legitimately don't know if that's a emulation glitch or if that's an actual thing that happens on a legitimate PS2 console. It is annoying. Especially because the jump doesn't work properly in this game. Because in the PS2 version, the jump is you hold both of the weapon switching buttons at the same time. Then you cleanly jump up into the air. It's very easy to control while moving around. This version only has the one weapon switch button. So, to jump, you have to double tap the X button, which is brake. You hit brake twice, and then you jump. And if you didn't know that, this boss is undefeatable. The game doesn't tell you that. And the manual also doesn't tell you that. I went and looked up the manual to try and figure out how to use the jump. Nothing in the manual tells you how to do that. Finally, I found a fan-made FAQ that explained how to jump. Otherwise, I would have been soft-locked on this boss forever. Let's find him. Charge up my special. Go invincible, because he's incredibly dangerous at this point of the fight. Where'd he go? Anytime you can't see him, you're about to get hit. There he goes. Floating around in outer space. He, like, hit this ramp so hard. Because he's such an absurdly fast vehicle when he rams. He went into the stratosphere. With an upgrade. The armor upgrade allows you to exceed your yellow health bar. Which is also the case in the PS2 version. But let me keep all my specials that I had built up. Towards the end of the fight there. Spectre's special in this game is abnormally good. And the upgraded version is much, much better. So let's blow through these things. Start this level by just destroying all the enemies. Effortlessly. In fact, I could platform up to the safe area. Rain hell upon my enemies. But I just used up all my specials, so that's fine. Yeah, it's been quite a while since I showed off head-on in any way. In the PS2 version, your health bars are so limited, I tend to lose my upgrades much more frequently than I do in this version. So it might have been a very long time since I've even shown off the blue health bar thing. It's only a very slight bit of added armor, but it's definitely nice to have. Note the pedestrian here. This was changed in the PS2 version of the game. I don't know why, but there we go. Console exclusive. Random wandering citizen. I would agree that the music in this level is particularly good, although I would say that all the music in this game is quite good. A lot of it sounds really, really generic when you're not paying too much attention to it. But when you really give it your ear, and it isn't drowned out by constant explosions, it has some surprisingly good little details. I do think this game has a notably good soundtrack, as do all of the Twisted Metal games. There's not a Twisted Metal game with a bad soundtrack, or even a Twisted Metal game without a particularly good soundtrack. They all stand out as being quite solid. Also, I should go and check the murals here. Let's zoom out the camera. This is as far zoomed out as we get because it's a PSP game with very limited, like, screen territory. They did their best with it, but this mural is much, much higher resolution than the PS2 version. On the PS2, this whole wall is very washed out, and you can't really make out what it's supposed to be. It looks really bad. Whereas in the original game, it looks quite good. I love the PS2 version. I think it's the superior version of the game. But some of the changes they made are bizarre and, like, objectively for the worse. Presumably out of, like, technical limitations or something, but I don't know what happened. Doesn't seem like that would be a technical limitation. Doesn't particularly make sense that it would be anyway. Fire rate is pretty limited. Outlaw was going for that health refill. Not today. But yeah, we fire pretty slowly. And that might be because of a multiplayer feature that I've never been able to show off. And I can't show off because it's online only. You can't go online with an emulator. This emulator, anyway. There's a mode called Relics in the multiplayer. And relics are basically like upgrades. While you're holding them, they give you a, like, permanent ability for your vehicle. And one of the relics is a faster fire rate and a higher weapon cap for your inventory. So you can hold more items and fire them more quickly if you're holding that relic. And it is kind of bizarre that that's not in the main game. I wish it was. We are holding our upgraded special. Let's give this music a little showcase, because this is good stuff. Hell yeah, that drop. I actually love it. I have, like, a mix of songs that I'm going to use to replace licensed soundtracks in future Twisted Metal playthroughs. And this song just made the cut. I currently have no head-on songs on that playlist, but I will now. Our special, when we charge it up, has a weird engine revving sound effect that I don't like. But I do like the 25 points of damage from any distance, which enemies practically cannot avoid. That's ridiculous. I just almost killed that enemy without ever seeing them in person. So far, I don't think I've actually killed anybody. I wonder who did the soundtrack for this game. I've never really looked it up. And the sound design in general, because it all is pretty good. Especially when you can hear it all. Unfortunately, not the case in this version. Uh-oh. I did show off that, what's his name? Mr. Slam special. He used to go berserk here on the PSP version. He used to play like 3 times the speed. And apparently that was an emulation error. Because he hasn't been doing it lately. Even on this PSP version. Surprised that they didn't bring down the Zeus Thunder on me. Game's manual gives names to all the environmental attacks in the game. And none of them are interesting enough to have looked up, but that one is called Zeus Thunder, I think. Because it's a statue of Zeus. Basically, you could guess all of the names of the environmental attacks. They're all extremely obvious. Damn it, got me in the middle of my charge. Doesn't waste the attack, at least. I have so many sword missiles. It'll be a shame to lose them. If I could land all these, everyone would be dead. Just need a little bit of HP. Now they're not going to shoot through walls, unfortunately, and no one is anywhere near me. Here's the level I most closely associate with, the music I most closely associate with this level. I don't remember ever hearing the other song that just played. Although both of the tracks we've heard sound very James Bond-ish. I don't know why. But I did just ram Hammerhead to death. That is embarrassing for you, Hammerhead. Getting crushed by a tiny car like me. What do you have for me? Upgrade point. Just a homing missile. And there we go. Our machine guns are very powerful, even more so when we have the machine gun upgrade. As we currently do, because we have all the upgrades. Lucky us. Another required level. We don't have a choice. We have to play Monaco, no matter what we do, or what we would like to do. I like to try and single out a weak opponent, like a Mr. Grimm if he were here, but I know his arrow is red. Gonna want to blow up this building in advance. Watch that building collapse playthrough in total silence, eerily enough. We're gonna need the full health refill that's at the top of the building sooner or later. If I need it in an emergency, I do not want to have to knock down the building and wait for it to collapse. That would be bad news. Might not be the worst idea to just go to the top of the building now. Rain my special upon everybody. Let's cheese that. When I did the Let's Play, and I showed off Spectre, I had to intentionally not cheese everything with my special. The Spectre special in this game is, like, ridiculously good. Frankly, could have done like half as much damage. It's still been pretty good. Just the ability to charge an attack that goes through walls is a little excessive. virtually no attack in this game does 25 points of damage, but Spectre Special does. Someone on the dev team, like Spectre. That's probably been the case since, like, Twisted Metal 1. I don't know why this car has been so ubiquitous throughout the series. I guess the special is cool, and it's good for the AI to use. But actually playing as Spectre has always been a nightmare for me. Not so in this game. In this game, it's really fast, super maneuverable, very fun to play as Spectre. I'm having a good time. Spectre is only bad in Twisted Metal 1, 2, and Black. Otherwise, it's incredibly strong. Unfortunately, those are the games that I consider the canon series. So, like, if you're bad in those games, I don't like you. Because those are the only games that I am inclined to play, or talk about, or look at. Obviously, I have a rapidly growing appreciation for the rest of the games in the series. There goes my health refill. There are 2 in this level, though. 2 full health refills, that is. Just gotta survive to get to this one. There we go. Never got a chance to show off the fountain. It got destroyed too quickly. But the fountain also looks better in the PSP version. The water actually looks transparent, whereas on the PS2, the water looks like ice. Looks like a very solid block coming out of the fountain. There. Gotta make sure Shadow's dead. Make sure everyone's dead. I've actually achieved very few kills here. I did just see Thumper run directly into an upgrade point and not collect it. On the PS2 version, I am certain that I've seen AI vehicles collect upgrade points. But that might not be a thing here. I lost my special upgrade. Now I gotta build back up to it. I'm no longer overpowered. It is kind of convenient, though, because now I can just tap the shoot button to fire off my special. Charging it is very, very effective, but a little burdensome. I wanted to show off Mr. Slam, because Mr. Slam's special changes completely when you use it when it's upgraded versus normally. So it's a super interesting character. It changes completely over the course of a playthrough as you collect those upgrades. The only reason I didn't decide to play as Mr. Slam is because we have a very zoomed in field of view compared to the PS2 release, and Mr. Slam's character model takes up like the entire screen while you're trying to play. It's extremely difficult to aim. Passing vehicle absorbed the shot that I had planned to kill Thumper with, but I got rid of him eventually. Rid of her, actually, in this game. I forgot that's not Bruce Cochran. It's true, yeah. Sev312 is right. Spectre's floppy spoiler here. Far too obscene for a PS2 game. At least one that isn't made by David Jaffe, because David Jaffe can get away with any genital he wants to put in a game. See my God of War playthrough for proof. But he stepped out of development for Head-On, so we had to clean that up. But we are seeing how slow this game can be. This level would definitely be completed if we were playing the PS2 version. Sheer amount of damage we do, lower HP pools, it would be over. Can't even find enemies in this gigantic level. Where even is Axel? There's someone. I don't want to attack him in the underground area, underneath that bridge. But he was ready to freeze me. My napalms will hit the roof of the bridge and will do very, very minor damage. It seems like Axel knows that. There. Got rid of him, got the jump upgrade. Oh, I guess that was the last enemy. Wasn't there 2 enemies left? I did lose a life in the last level, but now I have 3 again. As it should be. This is a level whose layout I never bothered to learn until I did the Let's Play. Because if you just wander around randomly, you will still succeed. You'll just be lost the entire time. But enemies are so aggressive, they're gonna wander into you. And then you can fight them, and then you can just run away. I'll open up the secret area. Maybe there are different things in there that I never realized. Probably not, but worth checking. I mentioned it earlier in this playthrough, but every vehicle has a unique animation for when they activate their special in the PSP version, and most, if not all of them, were changed for the PS2 version. Crimson Furies is the most, like, extremely pronounced one. But even for, like, Spectre here, the little cannon in the front of the vehicle, I'm pretty sure was not the case in the PS2 version. I think it had a different appearance when you had it selected. I'd have to go back and double check, but I don't remember it looking like that. Gotta go find a health refill somewhere. There's one in the dojo. Just gotta survive. There we go. Haven't been here in a while. I don't normally unlock this area when playing through casually. In the PS2 version, enemies love to come in here, and then they get stuck. They, like, fall through the world. Glitches occur, and it's bad news. PSP version should be much less glitchy in that regard. The port job was kind of a thrown together thing extremely late in the PS2 life cycle, so it's a miracle it came out at all. And with the additional content, I'm not complaining. It sounds like complaining, but it is not. I love the PS2 version. It's just a different game in many respects. There's Crimson Fury with its special activated. You can see, like, the DeLorean doors coming out the side of it. Yeah, at some point they just sort of admitted that the PSP was kind of a failure. They tried to rescue some of the better games by giving them PS2 ports. The better games and Silent Hill Origins. Just anything that would sell, I guess. I think my homing missile went for one of the civilian vehicles there, rather than the actual target I had lined up. You're dead. PSP was kind of a bad console. It's really nice to not have to deal with that weird slidey thumbstick thing they had to put into the PSP. Basically, any PSP game that you can play on anything besides a PSP is better off for it. It's too bad because there were some really good games on the PSP. This is absolutely one of them. And if you can get any of those games playing on a PSTV console, give it a shot. But for some reason, no one has ever recorded this game played through on a PSTV. Maybe it's not possible. I don't have a PSTV to test it. But my understanding is that most PSP games are compatible with the PSTV. Six damage out of my napalm. Never gonna get the 20 I need. It's pretty much fine if I die here. It's a good thing I said that as I was about to die. I only had 1 or 2 upgrades. Yeah, PSTV was such a failure, you can't really blame anyone for getting rid of it, but it is actually quite good to have. Be careful getting on this teleporter. So if you overshoot it, you won't teleport. Oh, Roadkill jumped off the building rather than fight me. Also, the energy points look way better on the PSP version for some reason. They're like really cool looking 3D models with highly reflective surfaces. But on the PS2, they are green triangles. And that is it. Just big old green triangles. We are on hard difficulty, which is why enemies freeze me constantly. It's one reason not to play hard difficulty. But even in the PSP version, which is significantly harder than the PS2 version, this game is laughably easy. If you're used to your Twisted Metal games. For most people, it is a very comfortable degree of difficulty. I am no longer most people. Jump upgrade. Time to teleport to the rooftops. I wish we could do this during the Tokyo Streets battle. And then we would be immune from the enemies. And we could launch our special at them freely. No, it has to be a semi-fair fight, even though we're playing a Spectre. Chucky Floop really lucked out that he ended up in Spectre, instead of one of the vehicles that is actually difficult to drive. He lucked out in a lot of ways. Being in the game at all is something you should not have had the opportunity to do. But no, now we have to know the name Chucky Floop for the rest of our lives. Tragic. Yeah, hard mode does nothing in this game. It just makes it more fun, in my opinion. But it would be even more fun if enemies didn't freeze you constantly. Like now. Small Brawl is actually the most brutal game in the entire series when it comes to unlockables. Even more so than 2012, I would say. Because 2012 gives you ridiculously overpowered vehicles. Juggernaut and Talon are like too damn good for that game. Whereas Small Brawl, you actually have to beat absolutely everything on hard difficulty. And if you use any cheats, the game detects it and does not allow you to keep your unlockables. I've completely ruined my entire save file by using cheats one time, such that I legitimately cannot unlock some of the vehicles in that game. Oh, wow. So there's my least favorite thing in Twisted Metal games. Hammerhead just acquired the full health refill, which, after playing Twisted Metal 3, I've felt should not be allowed. That is against the rules of Twisted Metal, letting the AI get full health refills. But here, in an actually good Twisted Metal game, Hammerhead just did it. Right in front of my face. And then jumped off a building. Because what does he care? He's got all the HP in the world now. And more importantly, has deprived me of all the HP that I needed. There goes my upgrades again. Snuck up by the fuzz. Yep, Twisted Metal 3-2 could have been the subtitle of Head On. Because it is meant to replace Twisted Metal 3, and it does so in, like, disturbingly direct ways sometimes. Like, I still read a lot of spite in the way this game is made and presented. The devs actually did hate Twisted Metal 3. There's a video of them after Eat Sleep Play was founded on David Jaffe's birthday, buying him as a birthday gift a copy of Twisted Metal 3. And they, like, recorded the video of it, them pranking him with a copy of Twisted Metal 3. Because that's the ultimate own, I guess. It's a little excessively cruel to Twisted Metal 3. I mean, it's a rough game. The devs themselves know it, and fully admit it. It's an irrefutable fact, but still, it's not a prank, usually. Anyway, on to the final battle. Against Darktooth. Seems like the vehicle itself is laughing. And there's the correct music. The Transylvania music is playing during this boss fight. This is how it's supposed to be. I accidentally pressed the speed up emulation button because I have that button on my controller. And it makes for a real mess anytime I accidentally press it. Now, Darktooth might actually give me a game over here. I can't rule it out. At least Tower Tooth. It's probably gonna get me. I'm already out of healing. I honestly kind of wasted the first full health pickup. No bongos this time. Actual creepy music while fighting the giant clown truck. I actually phased through the boss. Got hit with a special from behind, which oughtn't be possible. 4 points of damage from a direct hit with a napalm. I can see why they changed it. The detection on like what counts as a direct hit with a napalm is terrible. I've never, ever, ever gotten the full 20 points. I showed off a 17-point hit earlier in this playthrough, and I am surprised I got that high. He will combo me with that special, but not to worry, he's dead. Not for long, though. Oh, that's right, you can save in between Darktooth and Towertooth, which means it should refill my life count as well. That's overpowered. That also means if this boss gives me a game over, I should start right back at this point. There's weird swirly things on his shoulders there that I've never noticed before. I don't quite know what they're supposed to be, but it's interesting. Here we go. Vampire's Teeth. Best track in the game. And I can't fight the boss. He's gone invincible. But the full health refill also respawned because the entire level reset. Forgot how generous this is. This is a difficult final boss because you have to shoot it in the face a million times. Once you get past this first phase, you gotta go for the upper head, which is kind of difficult to hit. But it's not reset between the first boss and the second quite difficulty. I can see why they changed that from the PS2 release. Change for the better, in my opinion. And this boss probably should not be able to go invincible, and it certainly should not be able to go invincible as frequently as it does. It is ridiculous how much of this boss fight it spends just completely immune to damage. Particularly the second phase, where you have to shoot it in the head, so your opportunities to hit it at all are very, very limited. And then half of those opportunities are ruined by the fact that the boss is invincible. The special is going to be really good for smacking it in the face, as it'll home in from basically any distance. Right where we need it to go. There's been a weird detection on my energy moves. I keep going invisible, which I should not be doing. Going invisible is the opposite input of going invincible, which is what I'm trying to do, obviously. I need to get the hell away from him. That lightning strike does tremendous amounts of damage, covers the entire arena around him. Okay. Temporarily safe. It's gonna be hard to get any healing, though. Oh, that's right, the low health sound effect has been completely muted by the sound glitch. That actually dramatically improves the sound design of the entire game. Didn't even realize how much I wasn't hearing that horrible sound. And it instead is replaced by the sound of double bass pedals. Okay, Tower Tooth is catching up to me, because I've just been running laps around the street. So much so that my turbo has run out. But I can rear fire at him, because we're on a street grid. And there's some turbo. Uh-oh. Who needs to see the boss? Not I. God, this guy's fast. Missed the turbo. Like the health. I just can't get away from him. I would spin around and shoot him a bunch of times, but it would only hit him in the legs, which does nothing at this point. Okay. I tricked him by going in between some buildings, which he cannot do. This is like some Banjo-Kazooie music, which is appropriate for how badly I cheesed that fight. But that was some very, very silly music to follow Vampire's Teeth. Hey, we won. We didn't even look at the boss for half that boss fight. Embarrassing. But let's enjoy Chucky Floop's finale. We earned it, technically. Whatever. I unlocked everything I need to.
Hey, DDC here, still broadcasting live from Tokyo as our big winner, Chucky Floop, continues his winning ways. That's right! First he wins our big radio giveaway, free entrance, and a vehicle to use in... what was that called again? Twisted Metal! Oh yeah! Twisted Metal! And then he wins the whole dang thing!
Here's where they pretend that they've never heard of Twisted Metal, and I don't know why they play that up for this ending and only this ending.
Here's Twisted Metal.
Here I am. Okay, winner, right? Big time. Not a loser. Winner.
It's okay, Chucky. You've won. Now you have but to claim your prize and celebrate your victory.
My prize? Dude, bro.
Maybe that's what the money's for.
Something?
Of course.
A name change.
For your prize,
Chucky
you
Floop.
may wish for anything your heart desires.
Anything? Dude, it all comes back to cash, bro. The greenbacks, a dead president, Somalis, clams.
Because that's what Chucky's gonna wish for.
That's
Money.
right, baby. Money.
Granted.
Whoa, that's pretty cool. Whoa!
Uh-oh.
Dude! Wait.
Honestly, getting crushed by 1,000,000 tons of cash is on the nice side of things that have happened to Spectre drivers. But yeah, that was kind of an embarrassing ending. One of the worst in this game. Kinda silly and amusing, but otherwise... an adequate finale to our playthrough of Twisted Metal Head-On the PSP version for the first time. A full playthrough, wow. Thanks for sticking around, and there will be bonus content only on Twitch, exclusively for our live viewers and anyone who wants to watch the VOD afterwards. So, stick around for that. That'll be coming up shortly. But for now, I am Fiendly, and I thank you for watching Twisted Monday.